Hello everyone, welcome to the first tier list on the channel. I've been wanting to do a tier list for a long time. I know they've kind of gone out of fashion, but I am not a fashionable, fashion-forward kind of guy. I do things my own way. Yeah, I had this idea to do one, as you can tell from the title of the video, of ranking Mayuri Kuretsuchi's inventions based on how much they disturb me. Thought it'd be fun, a little casual hangout. Thought a tier list would be the best way to go about it. This might not work. It's my first time doing one of these, so we'll see how it goes, but it could be fun. So let's try to do this and rank Mayuri Kuretsuchi's inventions, creations, the products of his scientific genius. We'll see. If I forgot any, I was going solely based off memory. I may have forgotten one or two. I apologize. Let me know in the comments, and maybe I'll just say there where I would have put it. At the bottom tier is surprisingly tame. So if Mayuri's invention is like, oh, that's actually not that disturbing at all, that's not that weird, that's actually pretty normal or cool or nothing creepy about it. Surprisingly tame will be that category. Above that, we have could be worse. So it's a little off, it's a little weird, but it could be much worse. Middle tier, we have why. Just why, Mayuri? You know, why did you make this? Why? So kind of like, oh, this is a little weird, a little confusing, a little disturbing. Why did you do this? But also not the worst. Right below the top tier, we have nope, which nope is like, this is, I don't want to mess with this. I don't want this. Nah, this shouldn't exist. Nightmare is the top tier, and Nightmare is like, this is really, really disturbing me. I don't like this at all. Why is this a thing? How could you do this? That's the Nightmare list. So that'll be our tier rankings as we go through this. So let's begin. The first one we have here is Mayuri's modified Zanpakuto. He used part of the Mayuri project to insert a modified soul into his sword to help improve the sword, but as we have seen, the sword has like a little fetus baby face going on, which is pretty messed up. We've seen this sword cry. We've seen this sword scream. It's pretty disturbing. Obviously, it creates poisonous powers and freezes people's muscles and stuff. I'm gonna say it's pretty disturbing, right? Like, it's, of all the blades in Bleach, this is one of the more disturbing because it feels, yes, they all have a Zanpakuto spirit, but this one's Zanpakuto spirit was kind of forced upon it, or forced to become this. And just the having the face and then crying and screaming, all that, it's pretty rough, right? I'm gonna put it at nope. That's gonna go in nope. It's not quite nightmare fuel, but it's also like pretty disturbing, especially compared to other Zanpakuto. Also, if anyone's ever seen the movie The Shadow from the 90s with Alec Baldwin, my brother and I used to watch it all the time, and there was a dagger in that with like a golden dagger who had a little face, and he could like bite people. Kind of reminds me of that, so I'm a little freaked out by that. I should remind you all that Mayuri is one of my favorite characters, so while he is very disturbing, I actually think a lot of these are a lot of fun as well as being disturbing. It's kind of his thing. Next we have the Sun Suit from the Thousand Year Blood War, which he developed once he realized the Quincy's and the Vondenreich could move through shadows. So he created this suit in order to try to counteract that, so he's always shining brightly. I thought this was really fun. Not really disturbing at all. I'm gonna put it in surprisingly tame. Like, I feel like he could have come up with something really creepy and gross, but it's just a big poofy coat with a hood that makes him shine like the sun. So that's gonna go there. That's not that, it's not that creepy. It's not that messed up. It's just kind of what it is. It's useful, and there's nothing weird really about it. Next, we have Aizen's chair from the Thousand Year Blood War that he got put into when he was released from the Muken. Now, this chair Mayuri developed in order to restrict his powers and to pretty much completely cut off how far he could, extend his spiritual pressure. Super useful. It could be disturbing if used against, people that didn't deserve this. It just was mostly helpful against Aizen. And for a torture chair, or a chair that's supposed to keep you restrained, it could have been much worse. I would put it at surprisingly tame, but the fact that this could be used against fellow Soul Reapers almost makes me wonder that could it be worse? I'm going to put it surprisingly tame above the Sunsuit. Then we've got... What even is this? Oh, this is the amplifier Mayuri used when they needed more power trying to, open up the Soul King's palace. That's going to go surprisingly tame, but very bottom. That's not disturbing at all. Next we have these those little balls that circle Mayuri and capture spirit energy. He used them against Bambi, where he prevented her explode power from going off for a few seconds. They circled around him and captured her shots. That's not bad either. That's surprisingly tame. I'm going to put it by the chair. Nemu. How disturbed am I that Mayuri, of all people, pretty much can create life? That he's a god. It's potentially really disturbing because of who he is more than what. This is an extremely impressive feat that he creates a modified artificial soul that can learn and develop and essentially is a real person. It's extremely impressive. It might be one of the most impressive things he does in the whole series. He creates a whole new character. He makes a daughter for himself, pretty much. Nemu. It's more his treatment of her that's disturbing. Could be worse. Could be worse. He could have used it to create some sort of awful, hideous chimera thing, and instead he uses it to create pretty much just a Soul Reaper. So could be much worse. And I can't put it at the bottom because of how horrible he was to Nemu for a lot of the series. Alright, next, this is the Hitsugaya drug when he's fighting zombie Hitsugaya, where he traps him in a time loop in his head. It was a little bit confusing for me when I was first reading, I remember. But he's messing with the hippocampus and the memory, short-term memory. He's making his enemy envision what they're going to do, and then when they kill Mayuri, it resets. I was a little confused as it was happening in the manga about it being actual time loop somehow, physically, but it is just their perception it messes with, which it literally will trap you in essentially a time loop until you don't kill Mayuri. So it helps protect him, but potentially you could be trapped in a time loop for a very long time. And that's kind of unsettling. I'm going to put that at nope. I'm going to put it top so far. Oops. Barely know how to do this. Bear with me. I'm going to put it there. Not quite nightmare fuel, but close. At least there's an escape. But that's pretty messed up to put someone in a time loop. I've seen that used in a lot of shows and movies. It could drive you crazy, but it's not the top tier, I don't think. After that, we have his blood replacement thing he did to Hitsugaya right after that, where he replaces your blood with his own kind of artificial blood to help reverse the effects of being a zombie. That could be worse. I don't think that's that bad. I mean, all of these could be bad in his hands, but from what we've seen, how disturbed am I of them, that one's not that bad. Now, this one, with the head that he launches from his finger, and then it wraps around Pernita and explodes. It is a seemingly living creature. This person head is screaming the whole time, terrifying, and I'm disturbed by what that is, and the fact we don't have any real idea of what that is. I was speaking to a friend of mine, and he was saying that there was a theory at one point that these heads look like some people Mayuri was speaking to from his squad. It's horrifying. This is a nightmare. This is scary. It's very unsettling looking. The fact we don't know who those people are is really scary to me. So that's going top tier. Don't like it. Don't like that at all. Here we have the healing chambers that Mayuri uses to help himself recover, to help Kenpachi recover, to help unzombify some people. It's essentially like a back-to-tank from Star Wars, or whatever that healing tank was in Dragon Ball Z that Goku was in forever while his friends were dying. um, we're gonna put that surprisingly tame. Like that's just nice of him to do and to help people. Surprisingly tame is there's a lot more than I thought there'd be, but I think that's just because they're kind of front-loaded. All right, we got the zombies. That Mayuri zombies he brings back, like the Iran cars. We could say Kira Izuru is part of this. So essentially, Mayuri is able to bring people back to life through science. He stitches their bodies back together. They retain their personalities. The disturbing part is that they're essentially under Mayuri's control. He tortures them. They really have no say in the matter. You essentially become his undead slave, which isn't great. The optics aren't great. I'm cool with it happening to Loopy. I'm gonna put this at nope, because I wouldn't want this to happen to me. I think that'd be a terrible fate, but it did bring back some fun characters. But it's not that bad, it's just I would hate to be one of those zombies. Because you're brought back to life, but with a big asterisk, which is now you are working for Mayuri. Now this one, this is his superhuman drug that he famously uses against Xyloporo during the Hueco Mundo arc to close out their fight. And I've talked a lot about this drug recently during my Hell Arc video too. Slows down your perceptions, and seconds turn into centuries for you, so you're essentially trapped within your own body as you live lifetimes while the outside world has long moved on without you. So in this case, Xyloporo got injected with this. He ended up watching Mayuri kill him slowly for centuries because Mayuri, he only took him a few seconds to kill him, but he had to watch it happen and experience it for centuries. It was moving so slowly. This is the top for now, at least for me. I thought that was one of the scariest things. That was so horrifying to imagine living so long watching a scary clown guy slowly come up to you with a sword and stab you to death. And we see it in the manga and in the anime. Xyloporo is just begging for things to hurry up. Just kill me, please kill me, kill me, kill me. And to be in that mindset for so long, like I can't imagine that for a few minutes. Imagine you living centuries of that happening to you is horrifying. Absolutely horrifying. You'd go crazy. Knowing the whole time, too, there's nothing you can do. Your body is stuck as you know you're going to die. It's one of the cruelest fates maybe I've seen in, like, anything. And Xyloporo kind of deserved something horrible to happen to him, but I don't know if he even deserved that. It was pretty bad. Alright, so fake Karakura Town was Mayuri created the decoy city to trick Aizen and those guys into attacking it. And it's essentially a complete copy of Karakura Town with nobody in it. They moved the real city and the people up to the Soul Society, and it was just a decoy landscape. Mostly it's just impressive. I'm going to put it at surprisingly tame. There's nothing that disturbing about it, I guess, outside of, like, if you live in Karakura Town, you got unknowingly moved somewhere else to a different dimension, which could be shocking, but I don't think it's that bad. Alright, we got Mayuri's, like, rocket boots, which essentially are used to replicate how some Quincy's can use their spirit energy to move. So he was inspired by their movements. The thing that makes this a little disturbing is he's taking something that the people he dissected and experimented on and researched and claiming it for himself. He's robbing the Quincy's, really, of something that's theirs, appropriating it for his own purposes. I'm not big about that. It's not very classy to take another culture's technology after you dissected them and committed a lot of horrible war crimes against them. I'm going to put it at why. Why? You didn't need to do this. You could have figured out another way maybe, but it just feels rude. Next, we have the explosives that he plants in his own squad members, which I have a lot of questions, but he just murders his own squad. He has them all injected with explosives. So when they fail him or upset him, he just clicks a button and they literally just explode. And he uses them as grenades and weapons. It's one of the earliest times we see Mayuri, and it's really bad. Like, it was like, wow, this guy's awful, because how can you do that to your own squad? Like, most of the Soul Reapers wouldn't do that. And I feel terrible for anyone who's part of Mayuri's squad, knowing you could be killed at any moment by your captain, the man you're supposed to be able to trust to lead you. It's real bad. It's one of the worst things we see him do, really. Like, they're running away and screaming, like, how could you do this? It's rough. And he does not care either. Zero empathy for any of this, but I'm gonna say it's at nope. It's a high nope. Because I'm gonna put it top of nope. I think that's real bad. Real disturbing. Not so much scary, unless I'm one of his squad members, but it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. So that's gonna go at nope. And we'll see what else happens here. But that was it's one of those things I feel like we don't talk about enough. I feel like a lot of Mayuri's crimes early on in the series get kind of swept under because he's so entertaining. But that's like a Suicide Squad tactic. It's like Amanda Waller implanting them with a explosive. Speaking of explosives, we have the mine that he gave Oryu, which then Uryu uses against Yami. Um, it's pretty cool mostly. It's nice to see it destroy Yami. It could be worse. Could be worse. And by destroy Yami, I mean it just messes him up a little bit, but it's interesting he gave it to Uryu, but it's nice of him to do that. This one, I don't even know what to say about this. This is one of the weirder moments between Mayuri and Nemu in the series. After she almost dies against Xyloporo, he heals her. The thing that makes it disturbing is rather than put her in, like, the Bacta tank or anything like that, we cut away and we don't see exactly what he does. We just know there's a lot of, like, moaning and kind of very curious noises. And Uryu and Renji are watching and seeing it happen and look very disturbed. We don't know exactly what he does, but whatever he does fixes Nemu. You could infer maybe that he needs to access certain places to do this. But the fact that it's like essentially by the end of the series, we're kind of solidifying that she's kind of his daughter in a way. It's very messed up. So I'm tempted to put it at Nightmare because of the implications, but the thing that makes it funny is we don't know how bad it actually is. Because we don't know the specifics, I'm going to give him a little bit of the benefit of the doubt that he wouldn't go too crazy. I'm going to put it at nope. Just because I'm like, nope, don't like that. Whatever it was, just nope. I don't know. That's the only one here where I'm like, I don't really know what happens there. But he does something to fix Nemu. Whether it's an invention, a method, something built into her because she's his creation. Hard to say. But for now, it's going in nope. Next, we got his, like, healing reconstruction technology. He injects himself if he's, like, missing an arm and it regrows his flesh. It's gross looking, but it could be worse. We have the surveillance bacteria where he spies on people after injecting them with bacteria, which feels really violating. Because it's not even like a little bug camera you could see. He just tracks you and monitors you for months and months at a time potentially, and you don't have any idea it's there. I'm gonna put it at Nightmare. I would hate that, especially if I had that feeling that someone was watching me and I couldn't figure out why. That's gonna go Nightmare. Yeah, Uryu's pretty disturbed when he does it, but I think I'd be also very, very wigged out. Next, we have the nerve agent that he uses against Pernita, where it essentially just, like, messes with the nerves and his powers, and his hands get all... it neutralizes him, pretty much. It's a kind of a poisonous to him, toxic kind of agent. Glad it's on our side, like so many of these things. Could be worse. Could be worse. Could be worse. This one. This is one of the weird ones where he's fighting Pernita, and he just pulls out an umbrella, and because it's Mayuri, of course, this umbrella has a face, and is screaming in agony as it's being hit by all sorts of things. He has a bunch of these. The thing with this one, and say the one we have up in Nightmare with the neck face exploding bomb thing, is because they feel alive, they either have some sort of modified soul, perhaps, or were a soul. It's hard to say. And the genius of Kubo is that he doesn't reveal a lot of this. There's just terrifying implications for a lot of this. So because of that, this one disturbs me because I'm like, what is that? That's going to go up by Nightmare, right by the other one that's similar. No. And just the panels of it just yelling in agony as it's being destroyed. It feels like it was alive. And that's not okay. We have the modified Bankai of Ashisogi Jizo, which was real disturbing. It adapts and it peels itself, and it has a lot of different nerves and layers to it. It was pretty gross. It was gross looking, and also just seeing it was very unnerving. And anything with Ashisogi Jizo, this like poisonous baby, is pretty creepy, and I love it, but it's creepy. And this one, it's gonna go Nightmare. That'd be terrifying to see in real life. It would. The final one we have from the No Breaths from Hell chapter. He has these holographic projectors, which look hideous. There's these big bug things that fly around everywhere and project his image. And also, like, he could attack through it as well. I'm going to put it at why, because why did you have to make it look like that? His aesthetics are so specific and gross, and faces where there shouldn't be faces. So that'll do it for this tier list of Mayuri's inventions by how much they disturb me. I'm honestly surprised how many are in the bottom tier of surprisingly tame, because he did have a lot that were just functional and weren't that scary, but then he had plenty that were a little disturbing and questionable, and quite a few towards the top that are like, that's not okay, or what was that? And then ones that are just like, dear God, why? Why did you do this? Why does this exist? I never want to be in that position. Or see it. And that's definitely the top few for me. Are like, the implications of some of them are so creepy, sometimes creepier than what's actually shown. But that top one, the Xyloporo death, still is the thing that, when I think about being in that position, it's like, that would be literally the worst. Like, that's the worst possible thing. So that'll do it. I hope that was fun for you guys for a first tier list. I'd love to do more. I have a few more ideas for some coming up. So if you enjoyed this, let me know. If you want to see more, let me know your thoughts. Are there any that completely wigged you out, but that I was fine with, or ones that I find terrifying that you're like, that's not so bad? Let me know. And yeah, I'll see you guys soon. Take care. Bye.